We are live. What's up, everybody?
Hey guys, welcome to Coffee with the Klines.
Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing really good. Who's 3 for 3 so far this week, or going to be at the end of the day? Comment, let us know. You can get that workout in. We're going to talk about your fitness journey today on Coffee with the Klines, Morg.
Yes.
We have three things to remember.
So, also really quick, for those of you that are watching live on IG, this is going to be our last IG live with Coffee with the Klines. So, if you're listening to this, we are going to be putting this all on the podcast going forward, but you won't see Devan and I here consistently on Wednesdays anymore. We'll still pop in here and there, do some Q&As with you guys, but we're going to move this session on the podcast.
Yeah, we are, and here's the reason why. Because the audio is not great, and we want to make sure that this lands on the podcast for all of you to listen to indefinitely, and so we will, like Morgan said, be going live. It just won't be together.
Yes.
So...
Oh, okay.
Well, it could be.
Sometimes it will be. Yes.
It could be together.
Yes.
It'll be more sporadic and spontaneous.
Yes.
But we're going to break this down today because I think it's really important when we're in this time, the beginning of the year, that you just give yourself these reminders of what is really important, what really moves the needle. 3 things to remember about your fitness journey. Morg, what are they?
Number 1, that it is long. Okay, your fitness journey is not something that you're going to just start and stop in 30 days and you're good to go, right? So number 1 is that it's long. Number 2, that it's difficult. Okay, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be hard moments. There's going to be easier moments. But overall, your fitness journey is meant to be something that's difficult in your life, and that's a hard thing that you need to do. And then number 3 is that we want to give you a tip to focus on the small wins. So we'll talk a little bit about what those wins can look like and how you can get started on some of the small things first. So number 1, it's difficult. Nope, sorry. Number 2, it's long.
It's difficult, it's long, it's hard, it's all those things. And so I think it's very important that we don't just do what the normal fitness industry does and just market to you the fact that you could show up for 30 days, you could have all of these amazing changes, and that, that is what success looks like. Success is this long, slow, boring, difficult, sometimes annoying, sometimes rewarding process that you go through day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. It doesn't take 4 days. It takes 4 years to even see those changes. And some of us are, even here right now, I can see Bianca talking about this is a lifestyle change for her. Well, that is the most appropriate way to approach and to attack your fitness journey is that, hey, this is something that I'm going to do, and I'm not going to set some arbitrary fixed amount of days on it. That I'm going to do this forever, and I'm not going to make any changes that I don't intend on keeping forever from a fitness, from a nutrition standpoint, any types of recovery habits. You don't want to put forth things that are going to be temporary when you're talking about the one thing that is more important than anything else on earth, and that is your health. Because without your health, you don't have energy. Without your energy, you can't pour into your family. Without your health, if you're a successful, wealthy, in terms of money, if you're that type of person and everything else around you is successful and your health goes down, that all goes down with you. And so we really are preaching here that fitness in the fitness journey is the anchor to success in your life in general.
All right, number 2, it's difficult. So for me, I want to talk a little bit about how things will get easier, but then they can get hard again. And so if I just look at my journey over the last 10 years, of working out at Burn, I've had 3 pregnancies. And so I have been coasting along, doing 10 to 15 pull-ups without a band, and then boom, I get pregnant. And of course, a lot changes, a lot shifts in your body. You lose strength in your core, so then fitness got difficult for me again after my first baby. And then I got pregnant again, and it got more difficult after the second baby. And then I had a C-section with that second baby. So it was a whole nother level of difficulty that I wasn't used to. And then now I've had a third baby. And so I share that to say that it is such a journey, and it's a long journey, and there's going to be things that happen to you, whether that's pregnancy, whether that's injuries, whether that's setbacks in your personal life. Maybe you have tragedy that happens to you. Maybe something, you're caregiving for somebody else. Coming back to the gym is going to be difficult because when you get out of that routine or something happens in your life that, you do lose muscle and you lose some of that agility and that cardio and all of that, it becomes difficult again. It also can be difficult when you are continuing to push yourself, right? So if you are doing the right thing and you're constantly picking up those heavy weights, you're challenging yourself to do things that you didn't used to do or think were possible for yourself, then it should be difficult. And that's a good thing, right? Because it means you're challenging your body. So just a reminder of whatever you're going through right now, like you may be feeling real good about your workout routine and strong and you're crushing this challenge and I'm so happy that you're doing that. But I think there's a realistic point where sometimes you have those setbacks and that is totally okay. It's totally normal. And if you can do it once, you can keep doing it again.
Yeah, so along that long, difficult, hard journey, the reward is actually in the effort. And if the reward can be in the effort rather than the reward being in the end game or the results or whatever the big vision is, whatever the big why is for you, whatever your inspiration is, if that's what you're after, well, this road is going to be long and hard. Okay, if that thing that's at the end, the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will, it's important to have that. But we can't fixate our focus on that. What we have to fixate our focus on is those small wins, that one foot in front of the other mentality every single day. Because like we said, this long, difficult road, whether you're building your body or you're building a business or you're building a family, like it is day in, day out, consistently very hard work. I mean, we got a chance, if we're talking about building our family, Morgan and I got a chance to experience last night a very difficult night at which one point in time there was any given one of the three children melting down or screaming at the top of their lungs or hitting their head on something or falling down the stairs or fighting each other or whatever it is. There was just not a moment where, we had to remember what the long-term vision of the accumulation of our parenting style and how we wanted to raise our children, to not forget about that in the short term and just start yelling at them for no reason, right? Because they are kids and they will do those things and it's, they're kind of their job in a sense. So are you anticipating the problems that are going to show up? This is a concept when you're talking about how to navigate this pathway from where you're at now to where you want to be is, are you anticipating the future? Are you focused on creating lifestyle habits that once you've implemented them and they've become rituals that you don't have to worry about again, right? Like a habit is a system in your life that once you implement it, it fixes your problems and you don't have those problems too often anymore. And so for us, we talk about small wins at Burn Bootcamp. Let's snap back to the health journey. It's like 100 grams of protein, okay, and 100 ounces of water. We call that 100 G's and 100 Z's for OZs of water. So 100 G's and 100 C's, that's a small win if you're doing that every single day. Yes, it's boring. Yes, it's monotonous. But those boring, monotonous things, when done consistently, are what's going to build the body that you've wanted. It's going to take advantage of that hard work that you're putting in. And so consistency is the name of the game. Morgan, you want to elaborate on small wins and consistency and
yeah, well, I actually saw somebody pop up the non-scale victories too here on the IG live chat, and I think this goes into what we're saying is,
I think that was Bianca again, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was
she's
Bianca.
killing it today.
I love
Hi,
that.
Bianca.
Thanks for interacting
Stuart,
with
Florida,
us.
let's go.
So, it's celebrating the small wins, whether that's 100 grams of protein, whether that is 100 Z's of water, ounces, or it's a push-up on your toes, or it's a box jump on a taller box, And so what are the little things that you're doing every single day that you can celebrate? And, that's going to keep you encouraged during that long and difficult health journey, because when you see progress and when you can celebrate the good things, that doesn't leave room in your head to focus on the negative and the bad things that are happening or that you're not yet doing. So that's why we believe in just celebrating each other, celebrating yourself on the big things, but also the small things. Because as Devan said, those small things compound over time, and they become the big goals. They become the achievements that you set out for. So don't overlook that, and don't just wait to celebrate in the big moments. You got to celebrate the small in life and in fitness.
There's a great book, as you said, Compound, that came to my mind that I want to let everybody know about. It's called The Compound Effect. It's by Darren Hardy is his name. The Compound Effect. And this is a deep dive into the actual inner workings of how compounding strategy, effort, energy over time ultimately gives you this exponential geometrical type lift in your life when you do it and you apply it consistently. So think about for those of us that might be in the stock market, this is a obvious principle in the stock market. As you invest into the stock market, and you do so every single month, called dollar cost averaging, you're investing every single month. Well, you're not going to see a lot of needle move for the first 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 years. But once you hit that tipping point in your 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, come on, now you're hitting an exponential growth curve. So the growth curve will look pretty flat with a somewhat linear correlation upward until you get to that hockey stick. And the compound effect basically says you'll gain steady state progress until the very end when you've compounded and everything hits what he calls like a convergent point, where it basically spikes up like this. And you'll see that practically in your finances. So if you go open like a Vanguard long-term stock index portfolio, I might be speaking some finance stuff for you guys, but hopefully you're into it. It's like, okay, then you might go do that. You might put $5, or 20 or 500 or whatever amount of dollar to that every month. In 30 years, that might be $10 million. If you are consistently every month, month over month, just putting in that 500, that $1,000. So this is the power of what Morgan's talking about, the compounding effect, and letting the nature of compounding work for you. You can do it with finances. You could do it in building your own body. You could do it in building your own business. It's an effect that is real. It's measurable, and we really triple down on that, like AKA the long-term strategy.
That's right.
That's right.
All right, those are our 3 tips, guys.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back with more, like we said, on the podcast.
Yep, on the podcast, Burn Bootcamp Podcast. Make sure you guys are subscribing to it, all right? And make sure you leave us a review. Morgan and I love nothing more than to read those amazing reviews that are on Apple Podcasts. Like 85% of our listeners are from Apple. The other is from Spotify and some other random platforms. So go to Apple, leave us a review there. We'd really appreciate you guys if you would do that, if this has helped you at all. We think that would be amazing. So
yes,
2 claps on 2. 1, 2.